Hiya, I'm Rachel from Kirklees Recovery College. As you know, unfortunately we've had to cancel our face-to-face courses for the summer term, which does include our walks for wellbeing. However, I've been sat at my dining table for days on end, working away, got a bit of a headache, feeling a bit tired, so I thought I'd come out, stretch my legs and get a bit of fresh air. I also thought it'd be an opportunity to talk to you about some of the benefits that walking can have on both our physical and emotional well-being. So I'll go into that in a few more details. I'm just going to walk along this path for a little further and then I'll stop and tell you some more. Okay, hope you enjoy the ride, or rather the walk. Okay, see you in a bit. Hiya. Okay, so lots of research has shown that walking and other forms of exercise can have a really positive impact on our mental health. This is basically because when we exercise, it releases endorphins in our brain, and endorphins basically means it's a feel-good chemical. So they're rushing through our body and making us feel a lot better, and gives our mood a much needed boost. So some of these studies have proven that it can actually, walking can reduce mild to moderate depression, it can improve our sleep, it can improve our memory and our cognitive function. Cognitive function is basically just another word for how your brain works, how we take in that information and process it, and our understanding basically. It can reduce anxiety and panic attacks, and it builds our resilience. And when I first heard that, I thought, how does it build our resilience? But apparently, as our bodies become fitter, it means that our body is more able to deal with the stress hormone cortisol. So basically, the more we exercise, the fitter we get. It does actually make us more resilient. So I was quite surprised by that fact. But yeah, proof's in the pudding, so why not give it a go? So I'm gonna walk along this path for a bit further and I'll stop and chat to you again in a little while. I'm back again. So I just wanted to talk to you about another benefit of walking, and that's actually being outside in daylight. Now, I know all too well that too much sun exposure can be a bad thing, hence the factor 50 and baseball cap on a cloudy day. But all we actually need is about 10-15 minutes worth of exposure to daylight every day to give us our dose of vitamin D that we all need. And actually being in the sunshine releases a hormone called serotonin, which again is a happy hormone, so it makes us feel better. I want you to perhaps, if you're not quite sure about that and whether you believe me or not, just think about how you felt in sort of deepest, darkest January. The days were short, the nights were long, compared to perhaps early spring when the sunshine first arrived and you could stand outside and just feel the warm rays of the sun on your face. I don't know about you, but I definitely felt better in spring than I did in January. So walking is a good excuse just to get outside and get your daily dose of sunshine. And even if you don't feel like going out for a walk, perhaps just 5 or 10 minutes round the block, or if you're lucky enough to have a garden, just sit in the garden for 10 minutes a day and get your vitamin D dose. Okay, see you soon. Hello. Well, as you might be able to tell, the weather's changed ever so slightly. It's now raining, which is rather apt for this section. Because what I want to talk to you about now is basically how it feels to be in the great outdoors. Now, even if you are a gym goer, that isn't an option for any of us at the moment. But actually, I much prefer, personally, to be outside, even in the rain, than on a treadmill in a gym. I don't know why, I don't know, it just makes me feel better. I don't seem to get as hot, as bothered, It's just a calmer environment to be outside, really. And being in nature has also really positive effects. Even if you weren't walking, if you drove somewhere and got out of a car and just sat, again, more research has shown that being in nature has a really positive effect on our mental health. Some studies even researched patients in hospital beds, and those that had a view outside a window and could see nature and could see a tree had much better recovery rates than those that didn't have any access to nature whatsoever. I found actually really incredible, but even so, yet unsurprising, if that makes any sense to you. So even with the British weather, I do a lot of walking myself anyway, and I've been on top of hills when it's absolutely blowing a hoolie and lashing down, and I mean lashing down, and I've been soaked to the skin. But on the other side of the coin, I've never felt more alive. Wet, soggy, yes, but alive, and it was a wonderful feeling. Hence why I still get out and do plenty of walks whenever I can. So perhaps think about that and just try and get out into nature a little bit more if you possibly can. Better still if you can walk, and better still if it's in a little bit of sunshine. Hiya. Well, the rain got worse before it got better, but I'm not easily deterred, and I dry out pretty quick. So another thing that walking affords us is the opportunity for contemplation. So when you're out walking, particularly by yourself, your mind just wanders and wanders, and you might think, oh, that's a bad thing, you know, alone with your worries or whatever, but certainly for me, I don't feel that my mind sort of goes to those places really, or not often anyway. And I suppose it gives us a chance to have moments to either be mindful. I know when I first set off I was really aware of the wind rustling the leaves in the trees. I was walking through the woods. At the moment all I can hear is birds singing. Yes, there's a distant hum of traffic, but it's mainly the birds I can hear. And just a few moments ago as well, I was walking up this path, and there's fields of sort of long crops at the side of me, and unbeknownst to me there was loads of birds in there sort of feeding, and as they heard me they all took off together, and the sound of their wings was amazing, just all of them taking off at the same time. It was really good. So I suppose it affords us the chance to be mindful with no distractions at home. There's telly, there might be kids, there might be your partner, there's jobs to do. I always find it's quite difficult at home to just find 10 minutes for peace, quiet and contemplation. Another thing we could contemplate is things that we're grateful for. You know, recognising gratitude and finding those positive things in life really have an impact on us and make us look at life a bit more positively and optimistically. And that's not just me saying that, that's again, research has shown that that's the case. So from my own point of view, I know I'm grateful that me and all my family are safe and well in these troubling times. I'm grateful for the rain. It means I don't have to water my garden tonight, and I know our reservoirs were running really low, so I'm grateful for the rain, but I'm also grateful that it stopped. I'm grateful for the Recovery College. I know it sounds really cheesy, but I've got some lovely colleagues. We've got an amazing group of volunteers, and all our lovely learners who I'm really missing, and I learn a lot from myself. And also that it affords me a job where I can actually come outside, go for a long walk, which is one of my biggest wellness tools, and class it as working. So that's that bit. Hiya! As you can see, the weather's changeable this afternoon. So this next section you could probably do with the other Rachel from Calderdale to talk to you about this bit, but this is the physical stuff. So this is the stuff that you were probably imagining I was going to talk to you about at the beginning. We all know walking is really good for our physical health. It gets the blood pumping, you know, the lungs and the heart and your legs doing everything that they're meant to do. Now, I know not everybody is fit and able to go out and do a walk. Some people are shielding, and that's totally understandable. I know you can't, you know, sort of enjoy what I'm enjoying this afternoon. But some of the physical advantages of walking include it can reduce high blood pressure, reduce your risk of diabetes, of osteoporosis, of some forms of cancer. It can help with weight issues. It strengthens your bones, which is really important, and make us feel more energised. I certainly feel better than I did this afternoon at my dining table, and even though I've walked 3 or 4 miles now, I feel more energised than I did before I set off. So it does work. And you don't have to do much to reap the benefits. So if you're fairly inactive, any kind of walk, 5 minutes round the block is going to be beneficial for you. If you are a bit more active, then it's perhaps worthwhile contemplating doing something a tiny bit more strenuous, like maybe give yourself 20 or 30 seconds to walk as quickly as you can, just to get your heart pumping and everything else. Or find a hill to walk up rather than picking all the flat routes, which is what I always used to do. So just do something to get your body working again, really. Your body and your brain will definitely feel the benefit. So I'm not encouraging you to do this because necessarily it's good for your physical health. But that obviously is a big advantage. I'm not even encouraging you to do it for your mental health. I'm encouraging you to do it for the enjoyment of it and for the adventure. A walk doesn't have to be just a walk. It can be combined with something else that you enjoy. It could be photography or quiet meditation, or you might feel inspired to do some creative writing after being out on a walk, or some drawing, or if it's the right season, go picking blackberries. There's a multitude of things you can do while out on just a walk. So give it a go. Thanks for listening to this very condensed version of our Walks for Wellbeing session, and hopefully I'll see you out for a walk sometime soon. Bye bye.